that technology, especially phones, it is making us stupider. So my brain is not forced to think, and it's having a physical impact on my brain. The world needs humans to solve problems. And I think a private university like you are playing a huge role in India and across the world. You guys are at a university where you're getting quality education. Be grateful for the privilege.
He's the head of computing sciences at the Nelson Mandela University in South Africa, with over 3 decades in academia. But what he's most known for is almost contradictory to what it sounds: teaching coding to children without any computers at all. His tangible unplugged coding initiative has reached over 300,000 students in 5 different continents across the globe. And in 2021, his idea was one of the top 10 global finalists in the Falling World's Future of Learning category. Hello, this is your host Siddharth Kabir, and welcome to CUcast, the IFDP edition. Professor Greyling, welcome to Chandigarh University. I hope you're having a great day, and how's your stay coming at Chandigarh University right now?
I must say it's one of the experiences of my life, because it's so much different than South Africa, but because I learned something every day, whether it's the culture, whether it's what you do at university, your students, your PhD students. So I'm very grateful for being here, and thank you very much for this opportunity.
I mean, we are more than obliged, and we are more than happy to help you out. And coming from somebody who comes from the Rainbow Nation, talking about cultural diversity, I mean, we take pride in it. Thanks, Sapphire, for that.
I'm impressed that you know the Rainbow Nation.
We do our background checks. No worries on that. So starting off with things, you spent your career in computer sciences, but the project you're most known for teaches coding without any computers in the room. How did this unplugged coding even occur to you as an idea, and what made you feel that it's worth pushing for and worth striving for?
The reality in South Africa is we've got 25,000 schools, of which around 16,000 have no computer labs. So I've always had the passion to introduce school kids, learners, to computer science. And I often went to schools where I had to talk about computer science, but I knew while talking to them, they've never seen a computer. So it was in a vacuum, as if you're talking and they don't understand what you were talking. And then in January 27, my postgrad student came to me, and it was his proposal. He said, we need to develop a mobile application which can work anywhere for us to introduce coding to those learners. So I was immediately very excited. And that's where the idea came from. The two of us played supervisor student for a year to come up with a project.
Wow, I think that's really inspiring, because there's a lot of schools. I might not be well versed with the figures out here in India, but there's a lot of schools in India that still do not have computers, and this is something that's a really great initiative, and that's something that can and should definitely be taken up out here as well, and we're really looking forward to that. So why is it that technology itself is almost hampering the sense of education? Could you probably shed some light on that?
It's not my research, but I read up on it. It has been proven that technology, especially phones, are negatively impacting the physical compilation of the brain. It is making us stupider. Physically, yeah. In our brains, things are switching off. And there's been research shown that your normal kid at school now and 20 years ago, they had better problem-solving abilities 20 years ago.
The cognitive functioning was
Cognitive functioning has degraded because of technology. And now we've added AI to it, where I can find the solution to any problem in 30 seconds, 10 seconds. So my brain is not forced to think, and it's having a physical impact on my brain.
It's a complacency factor at this point.
Complacency, and then the big thing is problem solving. The world needs humans to solve problems. And we realized without changing our project, we could reach the developed world, because they are tired of technology. They don't want their kids on technology the whole time. They want their kids to talk to each other. Parents and teachers realize we are doing too much on technology, the opposite of what we're doing in the developing world.
A lot of your recent work is about closing a digital divide, not just teaching a skill. Where do you think the real gap is for a country trying to bring computational thinking to its next generation? Is it access to devices, access to teachers, or something else? Something else that people generally miss?
I think if I look at South Africa, access of devices is perceived as the biggest problem. Obviously, from my philosophy, I don't see that as a problem. Preparing teachers and equipping them to be able to teach these concepts which I've just shared to kids is I think, the biggest challenge. Therefore, we have a policy when we train teachers, it shouldn't be longer than 4 hours.
That's an interesting take, yeah.
It should be fun. They must enjoy every minute of those 4 hours. They must leave our session empowered to think, I can do this. And it works. We've trained about 50,000 teachers.
Wow, that's a handful and then a bunch as well. Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Trying to link things towards Chandigarh University now. You're here for the IFDP, and Chandigarh University has been climbing up in the QS rankings in recent years, having worked across university systems and communities in very different resource settings. What's your honest read on what actually builds a university's academic reputation? What's your take on that?
I'm very impressed by Chandigarh's ratings, and I know that's an important strategy any university needs to have. And I acknowledge I'm proud to be at the #1 private university in India. So for me as an academic, the first prize, the audit that I want to pass is, are the students that I graduate employable? And I know it's part of the KPIs of your university. Point 1, a university that is not worried about the employability of their graduates are stealing money. And I'm saying that because I've heard your statistics. You guys are not doing it. I've been in computer applications where there's a whole wall of fame of where your alumni are, and that's for me and then the second thing, that's the role of academia in this world, is to do cutting edge research. The world needs that, and I think a private university like you are playing a huge role in India and across the world, getting experts from all over the world. I'm going back to my university, we're going back to 40 different countries. That is so important.
So we're now gonna shift to the second part and second half of our podcast. That's rapid fire. Yeah. So 3 words or less is what we are looking for, but we're gonna give you enough leeway to express yourself as quickly as possible. So the rapid fire first question: the most unusual place you've ever run a coding class?
You might be surprised. The most unusual place I've run it is in Seattle at the head office of Amazon with their senior vice president and his office, and to see them respond like kids.
It's always fun, isn't it? I can almost see you smirking through it, remembering that. That is great.
But then I've also seen colleagues play in a Maasai village or under a tree in Zambia.
Oh wow, so there's the completely 2 different worlds altogether, but still garnering the same reaction. 1 word your students actually call you behind your back, if you know about it.
I don't know, I must find out, but my colleagues call me Prof J.
Prof J?
My junior colleagues. And sometimes Uncle Professor.
Uncle Professor, huh? Uncle Professor, that's fascinating.
Yeah, it shows my age.
A PhD thesis or a classroom of 5-year-olds, which one is harder to hold the attention of?
PhD.
PhD? All right. A radio host or professor, which version of you talks more?
If I can do this every day, I would. I love it. I love this kind of interaction.
If Tangible reached 1 more continent tomorrow, which one would you pick?
Australia. We haven't been to Australia. We've been to 5 continents, and I'm struggling to find a penguin in Antarctica that wants to play.
Coding or preaching? You've done both. Which comes to you more naturally?
If we define preaching, not necessarily in a spiritual sense, but I've done that as well. Preaching, my passion to motivate, to convince people. I think it's a natural gift, and I love doing it. Like talking to your 500 first years last week. was probably my highlight of this visit.
I can feel that convincing power shedding onto me as well, because now I want to do like something.
Are you going to study computer science?
Yeah.
Register next year.
I think I just might. Yeah. One word for Chandigarh University students based on what you've seen so far.
Grateful. You guys are at a university where you're getting quality education. Be grateful for the privilege. There are millions of young people across this world that will never experience that.
It's been a wonderful conversation, Professor Greyling. I wish that we would love to have you again. I'm really looking forward that the students of Chandigarh University really take good inspiration and take the best from what you have to offer to them. Thank you so much for being a part of our podcast today.
Last word. I've done a lot of radio and TV interviews. Regarding research prior and your personality, I rate this in the top 2 or 3. Brilliant.
Thanks, Raphael. That's
you made me comfortable and I could share without feeling...
that's probably the highest regard of compliment I could ever receive.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time and for your wonderful words. Thanks, Raphael, sir.
Thanks.